Hey everyone, and welcome back to Teen Compass, where we're all about helping you navigate life with confidence. Today we're diving into something that's super important for your future money. You use it every day, but have you ever stopped to think about what it actually is?
Yeah. What is money anyway? It might seem pretty basic, like, it's just that stuff we used to buy things, right? But there's actually a lot more to it than that.
Exactly. So today, we're going to unpack what money really is, how you can start earning more of it, and how to use it wisely. And of course, we'll be looking at what the Bible has to say about all of this.
That's right. So let's get started.
Okay, so first things first. What is money, really?
At its core, money is basically a tool. It's a way for us to exchange goods and services without having to, barter. Imagine if you wanted to trade your old phone for a new video game.
Oh man, good luck finding someone who wants exactly what you have and has exactly what you want.
Yeah, exactly. Bartering is super inefficient. That's where money comes in. It acts as this common medium of exchange, making everything so much smoother.
And it's come a long way too, right? I mean, we've got cash, cards, and now even digital currencies like Bitcoin.
It's pretty wild when you think about it. All these different forms of money, but what gives them value? It's really just an agreed upon belief. We all agree that this piece of paper or this digital code represents a certain value, and because of that, it does.
That's so interesting. It's like money's power comes from our collective trust in it.
And speaking of trust, the Bible has some pretty interesting things to say about money.
It does.
Like in Ecclesiastes 5, verse 10, it says, "Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. This too is meaningless." It's a good reminder that while money is important for our daily lives, chasing after it shouldn't be our ultimate goal.
So true. It's about finding that balance. Using money as a tool, but not letting it rule our life.
Right.
Okay, so we've talked about what money is. Now let's talk about how to get it. So how do you earn money? I mean, obviously there's allowance, gifts, part-time jobs, but let's think outside the box a little bit. What are some creative ways, especially for teens, to earn some extra cash?
I love this question. There are tons of creative ways for teens to make money. Babysitting and tutoring are always great options. You could even start a little side hustle based on your skills or hobbies.
Ooh, I like that. Tell me more about that.
So, are you good at art or crafts? You could sell your creations online or at local markets. Are you a tech whiz? Maybe you could offer tech support or web design services. Do you love animals?
I do.
Perfect. You could walk dogs or pet sit.
Seriously, the possibilities are endless. The cool thing about exploring these different ways to earn money is you learn so much along the way. You learn about responsibility, time management, communication skills, all sorts of things that will be valuable no matter what you do in life.
You're absolutely right. And there's something really empowering about earning your own money. It teaches you the value of hard work. It gives you a sense of independence.
For sure. It's like that feeling of, I did this, I earned this.
Exactly. And that reminds me of a verse from Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 23 says, "All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads only to poverty." So it's not enough to just talk about wanting more money. You got to put in the effort.
Work smarter, not harder, right?
That's one way to put it.
Okay, so now you're earning some money. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But how do you make sure it doesn't just disappear as quickly as it came?
That's where budgeting comes in.
Budgeting. Okay, I know the word budget can sound kind of boring, but it's really not as scary as it sounds. Think of it like a roadmap for your money. It helps you decide where your money is going instead of just wondering where it went.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be complicated. A simple budget can make a huge difference. You know, there's this popular budgeting rule called the 50-30-20 rule. Have you heard of that?
I have. I think it's super helpful. Can you break it down for us?
Sure. So the idea is to divide your income into three categories: 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings. Needs are the essentials like food, housing, transportation, and school supplies. Wants are the fun stuff like going out with friends, buying new clothes, or getting that new video game.
Those are always tempting.
They are. And then 20% goes into savings. This is for your future goals, emergencies, and even investments, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Now, does this rule have to be super strict? Like, can I tweak those percentages a bit?
It's definitely a guideline, and you can adjust it to fit your own needs and circumstances. The most important thing is to be intentional with your spending and to make sure you're setting aside something for the future.
That's a great point. It's about being mindful where your money is going.
Exactly. You know, even in the Bible, there's a lot of emphasis on planning and being responsible with our resources. In Luke chapter 14, verse 28, it says, "Suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it?"
Hmm. That's a powerful analogy. It's like before we jump into anything, especially something big, we need to make sure we have the resources to actually do it.
Exactly. It's about being wise and thinking ahead, which is a great segue into our next topic, saving versus investing.
Oh, yes, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
A lot of people use those words interchangeably, but they're not the same thing, right?
Definitely not. Saving is basically putting money aside for future use, typically in a safe place like a bank account. It's easily accessible when you need it. Investing, on the other hand, is using your money to buy assets that have the potential to grow in value over time.
So what kind of assets are we talking about?
There are all sorts of investments. You could invest in stocks, which are like little pieces of ownership in companies.
Okay, I've heard of those.
Or you could invest in real estate, which means buying property. And then there are bonds, mutual funds, and all sorts of other options. But the key thing to remember is investing involves some level of risk. Your investments could go up in value, but they could also go down.
So it's about understanding those risks and making informed decisions.
Exactly. And speaking of making smart choices, have you ever heard of compound interest?
I have, but I don't really get it.
Okay, so compound interest is like magic. It's basically earning interest on your interest. So your money grows exponentially over time.
That sounds awesome. Can you give us an example?
Sure. Let's say you invest $100 and it earns 10% interest per year. After the first year, you'll have $110. But in the second year, you'll earn interest not just on the original $100, but also on the $10 you earned in interest, and so on. It's like a snowball effect. The earlier you start investing, even small amounts, the more time your money has to grow.
Wow. It seems like time is really on your side when it comes to investing.
Absolutely. And this idea of being wise with what we have and making it grow is definitely something that's emphasized in the Bible. For example, Proverbs chapter 21, verse 20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." It's about planning for the future, not just living for the moment. And then there's the parable of the talents in Matthew chapter 25, verses 14 to 30. It's a story about a master who gives his servants different amounts of money, and the servants who invest their money wisely are rewarded, while the servant who buries his money out of fear is punished.
That's pretty thought-provoking. Like, we're called to be good stewards of what we've been given, whether it's money, talents, or anything else.
Yes, exactly. Okay, let's move on to a topic that can be a bit tricky, especially for teens: credit cards and debt.
Oh, yeah, credit cards. I know a lot of teens are probably getting those offers in the mail. It's like they're everywhere.
They are. And used responsibly, credit cards can be helpful. They can help you build a good credit history, which is important for things like getting a loan or renting an apartment. But if you're not careful, credit cards can also lead to a lot of problems.
Like debt.
Exactly. Debt is basically when you owe money to someone else. And it can be really hard to get out of debt once you're in it. Especially if you're only making minimum payments on your credit card, you'll end up paying a ton of interest. It's like you're throwing money away.
So what's the key to using credit cards responsibly?
The most important thing is to only spend what you can afford to pay back in full each month. That way you avoid those crazy interest charges. And if you're ever tempted to buy something you can't really afford, just remember Proverbs chapter 22, verse 7. It says, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender." So it's better to be patient and save up for something than to go into debt for it.
That's good advice. It's like debt can really take away your freedom.
Absolutely. It's important to be free to make choices that align with your values, and that includes being responsible with your money.
So we've talked about earning, budgeting, saving, investing, and using credit cards wisely. What's the next step in our financial journey?
Setting financial goals. This is where it gets really exciting. Think about what you want to achieve with your money.
Oh, I like this.
Maybe you want to save up for a car or a trip or even for college. Having goals gives you something to work towards, something to be motivated about. And a great way to set goals is to use the SMARTT framework.
SMARTT? What's that?
So SMARTT stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Oh, that's helpful. So break that down for us.
Okay, so specific means that your goal should be clear and well-defined. Like, instead of saying, "I want to save money," you'd say, "I want to save $500 for a new laptop." Measurable means you should be able to track your progress. Achievable means your goal should be realistic, something you can actually accomplish. Relevant means your goal should align with your values and what's important to you. And time-bound means you need to set a deadline for yourself.
That's a really useful framework. It's like having a game plan for your finances.
It is. And when we connect this to our faith, we can see that goal setting is something that's encouraged in the Bible. Like Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3 says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans." So when we set goals and ask God for guidance, we can trust that he will help us achieve them.
That's encouraging.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. We've talked about what money is, how to earn it, how to budget it, how to save and invest, and how to use credit cards wisely. But here's the thing. It's amazing how much we're expected to figure out about money on our own, isn't it?
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like they don't really teach us this stuff in school.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to be proactive about your financial education. Don't wait for someone to teach you. Go out there and learn.
So where should we even start?
There are tons of resources available. You can read books, listen to podcasts, watch videos online, talk to financially savvy adults in your life. There's so much information out there just waiting to be discovered. And the more you learn, the better equipped you'll be to make smart financial decisions and avoid costly mistakes.
I love that. Knowledge is power, right?
Absolutely. And it's interesting to consider what Hosea chapter 4, verse 6 says, "My people are destroyed from lack of knowledge." While this verse is talking about spiritual knowledge, I think the principle applies to other areas of life as well, including our finances.
That's a good point. It's like we're not meant to stumble around in the dark. We're meant to seek knowledge and understanding so we can live wisely and make the most of what we've been given. So to sum it all up, money is a tool. And like any tool, it's important to know how to use it effectively. Developing good financial habits early on is key to a confident and fulfilling future. Remember, it's not about being rich. It's about being wise. It's about making smart choices, being a good steward of what you have, and using your resources to make a positive impact on the world. And remember, we're here to support you every step of the way.
If you found this deep dive helpful, be sure to like this session, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Team Compass for more empowering guidance as you navigate life with confidence. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.